My wife's new best friend is actually a man she's secretly dating then. I'm a 35-year-old American guy, and for the last 7 years, I've been married to who I thought was the love of my life, Emily. We met at a friend's party, hit it off instantly, and after 2 years of dating, I proposed. Our marriage had the usual ups and downs, but we always worked through things. Or so I thought. It started about 6 months ago. Emily began hanging out with a new best friend she met through work, a guy named Jason. At first, I didn't think much of it. I'm not the jealous type, and I believe men and women can be friends. But something felt off. She started dressing differently. Not in a bad way, just more attention-grabbing. She was more protective of her phone, stayed out later with friends, and started taking more weekend self-care trips. I asked about Jason. She smiled and said, "He's gay, babe. You don't have to worry." That gave me some relief for about a week. One evening, I walked into the room while she was texting. She quickly locked her phone and said, "Just work stuff." I caught a glimpse of the name on the screen, Jay. That was the last straw for me. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I played it cool. That weekend, while she was supposedly at a spa retreat with some girlfriends, I drove out to the address I'd seen on an envelope in her bag. A rental cabin. Remote. Quiet. Romantic. I parked a little up the road and hiked through the trees to get a view. And there they were, Emily and Jason, cuddled up on the porch, drinking wine, kissing. My stomach dropped. It felt like someone had set my lungs on fire. But I didn't rush in. I didn't scream or cry. I took pictures. Lots of them. I recorded a video. Then I quietly left, got in my car, and drove back like nothing happened. When she came home the next day, I asked how the spa was. She smiled and kissed my cheek. So relaxing. I really needed it. I wanted to vomit. That night, I didn't sleep. I laid there, staring at the ceiling, thinking about every sacrifice I'd made for her. The house, the trips, the career compromises. And she was out there, playing me for a fool. Not just cheating, lying, every single day. But here's the thing about betrayal. It makes you cold. Focused. I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. I was going to ruin her. Over the next few weeks, I copied everything I needed. Bank statements, her emails, passwords, even messages she'd deleted from her phone. Thank you. Backup tools. I found out they had been seeing each other for over 5 months. She had even sent him money, my money, to help him get back on his feet. That was the breaking point. She wasn't just cheating. She was financing the affair with our joint account, all while claiming she was struggling with anxiety and needed time alone. I met with a divorce attorney, explained everything. She was impressed with the evidence I'd gathered and told me I had a strong case for financial misconduct and adultery. We crafted a plan. I also made a few calls to Emily's HR department, anonymously, of course. Jason worked at the same company. I had screenshots of intimate conversations sent during work hours using company devices. Revenge wasn't just a fantasy anymore. It was coming. 2 weeks after catching Emily with Jason, I was done playing the loyal husband. I continued the charade, acting like everything was normal, even affectionate. She didn't suspect a thing. In fact, she was more relaxed than ever. I think she believed she had me completely fooled. That was her biggest mistake. My attorney and I had been working behind the scenes. We gathered every shred of evidence, financial records, emails, text messages, location pings from her phone, even the bank transfers to Jason. We built a bulletproof case. In our state, adultery, especially with financial misconduct, could shift asset division in my favor. But that wasn't enough for me. I didn't just want a favorable divorce. I wanted her to feel it. The first domino fell at her job. Remember the screenshots of her sending flirty, explicit messages during office hours on company devices? Yeah, I sent those anonymously to her company's ethics department and CC'd HR. I also included evidence of Jason and Emily using company-paid trips as personal getaways. They had no idea that security footage from hotels and expense receipts would betray them. Emily worked in PR. Integrity was her whole brand. Now she was under internal investigation. 2 days later, she came home visibly stressed. "Something weird's going on at work," she mumbled. "Someone reported me and Jason for inappropriate conduct." I played dumb. "That's crazy. Who would do that?" I asked, handing her her favorite tea. She drank it while staring into space, clueless that I was the one who lit the match. A week later, I moved to the next phase, the financial freeze. I transferred 80% of our joint savings into a separate account under my name. Completely legal under advice from my lawyer, considering she was funneling funds to her affair partner. Then, I changed the password to the account and credit alerts. She tried to use the joint card at Target that weekend, declined. She called the bank, but by then, the account was locked pending disputed withdrawals. She stormed into the living room in a panic. "Did you touch our savings?" she barked. I've been reviewing our finances lately, I said calmly. There were some suspicious transactions. I had to protect what's mine. She didn't say anything. She knew she couldn't explain why Jason's name was attached to those PayPal transfers. That night, she barely spoke to me, but she didn't confess either. 3 days later, I served her the divorce papers. I timed it perfectly, the morning after she got word that Jason had been fired from the company for violation of conduct policies. Apparently, Jason cracked under pressure during the HR interview and threw Emily under the bus. Said she seduced him, made false reports, and manipulated company funds. I felt a twisted kind of justice in that moment. She wasn't just being left by her husband. She was being thrown out by her boyfriend and career at the same time. She looked pale when I handed her the envelope. "You're divorcing me?" she whispered. I smiled. "No, I'm divorcing the woman who lied to me for months, stole from me, and thought I was too stupid to figure it out." She broke down, cried, begged, but I didn't feel anything. I just walked upstairs. She moved out a few days later, temporarily to her sister's place. But she didn't know what was coming next, because I wasn't done yet. After Emily moved out, I expected to feel heartbroken, maybe angry, but honestly, I felt peace, the kind of calm that only comes when a storm finally passes and you realize you're still standing. But I wasn't finished yet. She still had to feel it. I knew Emily cared about one thing more than anything else: her image. She built her life on Instagram perfect photos, filtered date nights, charity events, luxury vacations, all curated for likes and validation. What she didn't realize was how quickly that house of cards could fall. While I had no intention of publicly humiliating her, I'm not that guy. Karma did most of the work for me. Remember that HR investigation? Turns out, someone in her office leaked the news about her and Jason getting fired. It spread like wildfire through our friend group, then reached family. Suddenly, people who used to praise her perfect marriage were asking questions she didn't want to answer. She texted me long paragraphs, apologies, explanations, fake tears through emojis. I didn't reply. I blocked her on everything. Her sister called me a few times, saying Emily wasn't eating, crying constantly, and really regretted everything. Good. Actions have consequences. But the real punch? That came with the divorce settlement. My lawyer crushed it. Because of her documented financial misconduct and infidelity, I walked away with the house, most of our shared savings, and even her luxury car, which I sold the next week and used the money to pay off my student loans. Emily walked away with just her clothes, a few $1,000s, and a pile of burned bridges. She tried to lawyer up and fight it, but she didn't have the money. Jason certainly wasn't helping. Turns out, the guy she risked everything for was using her. He moved to another city weeks after the fallout, blocked her number, and ghosted completely. Her fantasy romance, dead in the water. She was left jobless, single, broke, and crashing on her sister's couch. A far cry from the spa weekends and stolen kisses in remote cabins. Now, a few months later, I'm doing well. I've reconnected with old friends, gone on a few dates, nothing serious yet, and even started therapy, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to make sure I never lost myself like that again. Emily, on the other hand, still occasionally tries to email me. The last one said, "I made a mistake. I thought the grass was greener, but it was fake. You were the best thing in my life. Can we please talk?" No, we can't. She gambled a stable marriage, a loyal partner, and a shared future for cheap thrills and lies. And she lost. Some people learn the hard way that being greedy doesn't just cost you money, it costs you everything. As for me, I'm finally free. No more secrets, no more lies, no more pretending to be happy while someone stabs me in the back. She wanted Jason. She got burned. I wanted peace. And I got it. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.